Welcome to Jobbed Out, the wrestling editorial that reminds you that sometimes there is no such thing as strength in numbers. Alright, so I put this video up a couple of years ago after WWE.com put out a really stupid article about factions. Seriously, Wolfpack because red? Eat my ass. Anyway, now that we have all Elite fans losing their minds over the Dark Order and the Nightmare Collective, it feels like the time is right to rehash this list. Hope you enjoy! WWE.com just released a list about which WWE divas would have comprised all female versions of past wrestling stables in history. Some were quite creative, like Natty Neidhart in the Hart Foundation, or Charlotte Flair as a horsewoman. Yeesh. Yeah, I didn't say it was a good list. They even had Eva Marie and Nia Jax representing NWO Wolfpack, and it got me thinking, not every idea is a home run. Not every athlete is a world champ, and not every stable is historic. While we all remember Evolution, or The Shield, or the Nation of Domination, I wanted to take a moment to pay tribute to the lamer stables. The ones who had a cup of coffee but never got off the ground. So I present to you my 5 lame factions in the WWE. Number 5. The Truth Commission. Politics and wrestling, am I right? It's grown worthy enough when wrestlers try to newsjack the exact thing you're watching wrestling to tune out from. But the WWF and the USWA went one step further by modeling a stable based on politics that only mattered to the people of South Africa. There's a winner for you. They went through some casting changes over the years, from film star Robin Smith, who portrayed the Commandant, to the Jackal Don Callis, Kurgan, the forgettable tag team of Sniper and Recon, the latter of which would become Bull Buchanan, and finally Tank, who is best known in the WWE as Mantar. But in the USWA, he actually beat Jerry Lawler for the world title while part of this stable. Considering the white supremacist paramilitary concept failed to make waves in the US, somehow, make Donald Trump again, Kurgan and Jackal formed a new group that was considerably more successful in popularity, the Oddities. Number 4.
We're a three-man band!
3MB. Now let me stop you right now, comment section. I freaking loved 3MB. Heath makes everyone look good. Drew acted like an actual rock star, and Jinder Mahal holds sentimental value personally to me as being somebody who I worked with back in 2003. The problem was that 3MB completely missed the memo that said their strength in numbers. They were quite often embarrassed despite outnumbering their opponents. They had great content that would be featured on WWE.com or on Tout, including one of my favorite segments where they all got wasted and got tattoos, to which they overslept and missed their own big announcement on Raw. But that would be the problem here. They always missed Raw. They could have gone all out just being a band that never had a chance to play instruments, but creative just wouldn't use them. 3MB faded with a whimper when Jinder and Drew released on the same day, despite having just appeared on Raw that week. Number 3. PMS. Before the Divas Revolution, the concept of all-female stables wasn't exactly a common one. TNA and WWE both had this problem where women consistently turned on each other. They'd be catty or they'd call each other sluts and bitches. Not exactly something a dorky wrestling fan would consider friendship based on how they'd been treated over their childhoods. But smack dab in the middle of the Attitude Era, the WWE tried it. Pretty Mean Sisters, a stable of women jilted by male performers in the company, WWE Hall of Famer Jackie, tossed by Mark Marrow, Ryan Shamrock, used and abused by Val Venus, and my personal favorite she-devil, Terry Runnels. who was rejected by both Goldust and Venus in her time of need. The trio of primarily non-wrestlers were what we fear in the term feminazi. They weren't about equality, they were about revenge. They played mind games, they fought dirty, they even had a piece of meat in Shawn Stasiak to satisfy their needs in and out of the ring. The whole stable was surprisingly easy to dislike for male fans who didn't want to be lumped in with the bad guys who do wrong to others. But it all came to a flop after one of the WWE's worst undercard storyline ideas, where Terry, who at that point was supposed to be a man-hater, kayfabe faked a pregnancy and then faked a miscarriage after taking a bump from D'Lo Brown specifically so she could use him for her bidding. Number 2. The Core. Poor Heath Slater. This guy has more factions than clean wins. Nexus, New Nexus, 3MB, Social Outcasts. It's like his gimmick is he's afraid to go solo. But his worst venture was when the Nexus split in half, forming two groups that would rival each other. One being New Nexus on Raw, which came very damn close to being on this list, and its SmackDown counterpart, the poorly spelled Core. This stable consisted of Slater, Justin Gabriel, Ezekiel Jackson, and Wade Barrett, who had been ousted from his own group on Raw, so he made his own Nexus, with Blackjack and hookers. After wrapping up their feud with the Nexus, the Core succumbed to infighting. Accidentally costing each other matches led to Jackson walking out on the group, and a short feud between Jackson and Barrett led to the others throwing their hands up in the air and ending the whole damn thing. Before I get to number 1, here are a few honorable mentions.
Hey yo, you dealing with the X Factor.
So what WWE faction ranks the lamest? Who somehow managed to be less effective than the Union or the Core?
Misfits! In action!
Number 1. Apple. What, you don't remember Apple? The Allied People powered by loathing everything that you stand for was a group consisting of Santino Marella, Daniel Bryan, Evan Bourne, and Mark Henry. They lasted exactly 1 day, and their purpose, you guessed it, was to feud with the Core. It didn't bode well. They had exactly one match, which they lost, when Santino was pinned by, Heath Slater. And shortly afterwards, WWE Draft split them up onto different rosters. Not only gone, but almost completely forgotten. And there you have it, my 5 lamest factions in WWE history. And the Job Squad didn't even get an honorable mention. They knew what they were. But what do you think? Who were the lamest factions in WWE history? Let me know in the comments. For now, I better get my shoulders off the mat. So thanks for tuning in to Jobbed Out. Catch you next time.